Booyakasha, toy fans! I'm D21Beast and welcome back to my figure review series. Today I'm back with my first review of 2016, and as you can see here, I do have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mini-Mates Series 3 2-packs. These 2-packs are exclusive to Toys R Us. In this first video, we're going to take a look at the Vision Quest Michelangelo and Leonardo, as well as Bebop and Rocksteady. And then in a second video, we'll take a look at Mystic Donatello and Raphael, as well as the new Shredder and Slash Mini-Mate figures. So be sure to stick around my channel for that. Now, these blister carded 2-packs are exclusive to Toys R Us. I do believe there's going to be some blind bag versions of these turtles as well, exclusive to comic book retail shops. If you do choose to go the blind bag route, however, there will be a couple of Mini-Mate figures that are exclusive to that packaging option. But as you can see here with the Toys R Us 2-packs, we do have some very familiar packaging. We've got the Mini-Mates logo in the upper left and a show-rendered version of the turtles on the upper right. We then have a blister bubble packaging that does house each of these figures inside, as well as their mini accessories. Then towards the bottom we have the logo for Nickelodeon and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show, as well as the figures' names. The back of this packaging does once again feature the Mini-Mates logo, as well as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle logo there at the top. You then have a complete lineup of all the figures available from this Toys R Us exclusive wave. Then towards the bottom you do have bios for Vision Quest Michelangelo, Bebop, Vision Quest Leonardo, and Rocksteady. Alright, shellheads, well that's the packaging. Let's get these miniature mutants out of the box and see what they're all about. Alright, toy fans, as you can see here, we do have some really nice looking turtle Mini-Mate figures. Now the look for Leonardo and Michelangelo has been pulled directly from the Mystic Turtle episodes of Season 3 of the Ninja Turtle cartoon on Nickelodeon. I believe these particular looks have only shown up twice so far, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but they're essentially spiritual versions of the turtles that are more in touch with nature. Leonardo is now an air spirit, and Michelangelo is now a woodland spirit. However, Rocksteady and Bebop are not so episode specific. These are the standard looks for each one of these guys, drawn from the Nickelodeon animated series. And as you can see here, comparing these Mini-Mates to their 5-inch Playmates counterparts, these figures are again a huge home run over the competition. There's so much more paint detail on these little minifigures than we see with the Playmates line, and it makes me very happy to see Diamond going the extra mile to give us all the detail that matters. Sculpting-wise, we're getting a mix of brand new and reused pieces for these turtles. As we take a look at Leonardo, you're going to notice that the actual wrap around his head, the hood piece, is definitely a new piece. Now, it's worth noting out of the packaging, my Leonardo actually had a quiver attached to his hood that had a very slight amount of glue actually holding it onto the minifigure, and it snapped almost immediately, pulling him out of packaging. A little disappointing, and now the quiver doesn't really sit on the figure, but we'll touch on that more in accessories. But there is still the peg holder if you want to try to attach that. But what you are also going to notice here is that there's a hole in the back of his shell. That's because this figure's body, at least, its center shell piece, is reused from the regular Ninja Turtle release of Leonardo, and the scabbard for the swords is no longer plugged into his back, so now there's a hole in the back of the figure. I wish they would have done that a little bit differently, either plug up the hole, or maybe even forgo the actual arrow, the quiver piece for the Ninja Turtle figure, and just give us the scabbards on the back of his back. I know it's not show accurate because they were on his hip in that episode, but it's a lot better than what we ended up getting, so it's a little bit of a disappointment there. But outside of that, he does seem to have original sculpted pieces for the forearms and for the legs. The upper arms and the upper thighs do seem to be reused, and then he actually has a headpiece here you can pull off the hood that has a hole in the top of it, so you can actually plug the hood on, or really any other Mini-Mate accessories. But really, overall, a decent looking figure, just a little disappointing about the way they've handled the back side of that figure. With Michelangelo, we're also getting another very nice looking figure. Tons of original sculpted pieces here on the upper arms and on the lower arms, showing that sort of wood with the spikes on it. I like the paint detail that's been added to the face to show kind of the freckles that he got when he had this outfit on, or the war paint. I'm not really sure what that was supposed to be. The hood comes off, as you can see here, and we do have a Mikey head underneath, again with the peg hole on the top. Now this piece that goes on the head is actually sculpted very nicely, but the ties for the back of the head are extremely loose. And one of these is already about to fall off. I'm trying to be very gentle with it, but you want to be mindful of that you may end up losing the ties on this Michelangelo Mini-Mate figure, given just how frail the actual wraps need to be. Also with this Michelangelo, we've got a reused torso as well, and as you can see here, we still have the nunchuck holders on the back of this figure. Actually, Playmates did the very same thing. Mikey was the only figure in the Mystic Turtle line in the 5-inch scale that was actually able to hold nunchucks on his waist, despite not coming with any. So, interesting to see that like minds, I guess, took place there. But otherwise, the figure looks really great, and the paint applications are very nice. Now, with Rocksteady, we have a ton of detail on this figure, and we already kind of looked at him compared to the 5-inch figure, but let's look at him up close. The camo pants look absolutely fantastic. I love the sculpted detail on the torso here, and on the shoulders, on the back. Everything looks really nice. We even have lots of gold detail, which we did not get on the 5-inch figure, on the arms and on the back of the head. The paintwork on the face is very nice. The one complaint I have about this figure, really, is that the head is a bit loose. It comes off pretty easily, so I don't know if that's just how it had to be done to make this sort of head work, but I wish it was a little more snug. I do wish that they would have painted some gray paint here, because as it stands now, this whole area should have been gray, and you can kind of see it if you're looking at the figure straight on that it's not. Again, minor quibble. This is really a very, very good looking Mini-Mate figure. Finally, we come to the Bebop figure, which, again, we've already looked at a little bit in detail, but I just want to highlight the excellent paintwork on this figure. We've got sculpted detail here on the arms. I really like the head sculpt for this figure. Just like we saw with the Rocksteady, though, it is very loose and comes off very easily, so just be mindful of that as you're posing him around. But otherwise, the figure looks really nice, and I love the way that the purple paint has come out, and I'm very, very happy with this figure. Accessory-wise, these Turtle Mini-Me figures come loaded for battle. First, we should note that Rocksteady and Bebop don't actually have any accessories, so what you get with them is just the clear display bases. I think it would have been nice to at least see a hammer and sickle for Rocksteady, since he seems to have that in a lot of his other modern toy incarnations, but I guess Diamond was saving the budget for the Turtle figures, and boy do we get a lot. Michelangelo has a pair of commas just like he had in that episode, or both appearances of this outfit, and they've been painted very nicely. Brown shaft with the tape painted and the actual silver ends of the weapon painted. They fit comfortably into his hand. But like we saw with the Series 2 Michelangelo Minimate figure, his nunchucks are still using that plastic bendable chain. They don't have the actual metal chain like the Series 1 Michelangelo figure did. Like I mentioned earlier, Leonardo has this quiver that possibly is supposed to remove from his costume, and then he comes with a bow and set of arrows to go along with them. These are the same bow and arrow accessories that we got with the modern Hawkeye Minimate figure, and possibly even classic Hawkeye Minimate figure. I don't have one, so I'm not sure, but if you have those Minimate figures, you know what to expect there. Now, another complaint I have about this quiver, besides that it doesn't really want to attach to the Leonardo figure, is that the actual hole or the interior of the quiver is not that deep. So when you try to put these arrows in, they actually kind of stick out quite a bit. I don't know that it's very practical, and when you stick it on the minifigure, he's got two giant arrows coming off of his back. Really, I think it's best just to not use the quiver at all. If I pull on this Hawkeye Minimate figure, you'll see his quiver was actually much better at being able to hold arrows. So again, you probably just want to skip on using this quiver with your Leonardo Minimate figure. But Leonardo also has these same swords that he came with in Series 1 and Series 2, and they're painted the exact same way. Nice sculpt on these items, brown handle, gold on the end, and then a silver blade. Unfortunately, he does not have any sort of scabbard to stick those swords in. And then each one of these Turtle Minimate figures has their own display base. Now, in previous Minimate series, all of the Turtle figures have been coming with sewer lid display bases, and I was surprised to see that they've changed it up with this line. What you'll see here is almost a parchment-colored piece of plastic that has the kanji for air, I believe. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong, but I do believe that's the kanji for air. Leonardo's meant to stand on that one. And then we have Michelangelo that has a display base with the kanji for woods on it. So again, if that's wrong or partially inaccurate, let me know in the comments below. I do feel like these sewer lids were a better display base for these figures, but seeing as how we've received those sewer lids for a couple of waves now, it's nice to see Diamond try something different. Articulation for these Turtle Minimate figures is largely the same as what we've seen before, only really being affected by whatever costume parts the figures happen to be wearing. So we'll look at Bebop for this review. He does have a head that'll bend down that far and bend back, oh, not too far, and it does come off. He looks left and right. He's got a ball jointed shoulder that bends forward that far, bends back that far, out from the body, oh, about that far. It does detach. He does have an elbow hinge that'll bend forward and back that far. For rotation here at the forearm, it's a little tight on this new figure. No finger or wrist articulation. No ab crunch, but he has a waist swivel that spins left and right. Ball jointed hip that goes forward that far, goes back that far, knee bends back that far, leg bends out from the body about that far, and then there is actually a little bit of swivel, but on Bebop, it's actually designed to where that the foot won't move, but on a Turtle that doesn't have a piece kind of going right up against the leg, the foots will spin left and right as well. Height-wise, you can see that these Turtle Minimates do come in right around 2.5 inches tall. For some size comparison, here they are compared to a Mega Bloks Spider-Man minifigure, and compared to Kre-O Transformers Cheetor. Here they are compared to a standard LEGO minifigure. Here they are compared to one of the original Minimate figure lines. We've got Captain Kirk from Star Trek. And finally, here they are compared to an average-heighted Minimate figure. We've got Wolverine from the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 figure line.
Hey, Pumbaa and Dumbo! Huh? You guys ever think of taking a shower?
Oh man, that's cold! Alright, toy fans, well that's my review of the Art Asylum and Diamond Select Series 3 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mystic Turtles 2-packs exclusive to Toys R Us and available in 2016. And that's a mouthful. Overall though, I do think these are some pretty great 2-packs to add to your Ninja Turtles Mini-Mates collection, or just your Ninja Turtle collection in general. Like you've heard me say before, these Ninja Turtle mini figures are very well sculpted and they come with a ton of accessories, and really they put the official Playmates line of Turtles figures to shame in many ways. I'm a little disappointed to see some quality control issues on this line with the quiver for Leonardo and the bandana shafts for Michelangelo, but overall I'm still very happy with this line of Minimate figures, and I definitely encourage you guys to check these 2-packs out. And let's not forget, Rocksteady and Bebop are certainly some welcome additions to our Minimate collections. Well, thanks for watching this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Of the 4 Minimates we've looked at so far, which one's your favorite? I'm leaning towards Bebop. If you guys like what you saw here, share this video with your friends and give me a like. It really helps me out. Also, be sure to stick around my channel for reviews of the other 2-packs available from this wave. Until we meet again, be sure to eat some pizza and mind your sensei. Booyakasha!